Welcome to PrintsWell's first live Q&A. I'm Caitlin, the Customer Experience Manager, and here with me is Chelsea, the Director of Marketing. She's going to be here to moderate questions and, most importantly, provide moral support for me. So what I'm going to go over really high level is paper basics for anyone new to stationery, the papers within our standard paper sample pack, and basically our top five selling papers and what they are best used for, my recommendations on those. And then from there, we're going to go into the product packaging options that PrintsWell offers. And after that, we're going to open it up for questions. So excited to hear your guys' thoughts and but let's get started. So paper basics, you'll see in your paper sample pack that these each one it'll have a number typically at the top and then kind of a descriptor. So these numbers are the pounds of the paper. So that describes the thickness, but it's further subcategorized into text weight and cover weight paper or cardstock paper. So you can have 80-pound text, but that's thinner paper. That's what we're going to use for notepads, belly bands, envelope liners, envelopes themselves, and just about anything else. And then you have cover weight, which is what you're going to use for your cards, much sturdier stock. Um, that is, invitations, greeting cards, things like that. Um, and then you can further categorize your paper stocks by the texture and the color. So certain textures that we offer are eggshell. We have a smooth felt, cotton, linen. The list goes on. And then last but not least, color. So you have bright white options. So we have bright white, brilliant white, ultra white, which is those true whites, what I like to think of as the true whites. And then we have those softer, more natural tones, soft white, natural, white. So a lot of different ways that we can further define the paper stocks. Just to give like some context on that, industry standard, anything over 100-pound cover is considered a heavy duty cardstock. And then, a little bit more context clues is the like copy paper in your home printer is about 50-pound text, and a standard business card is going to be 80-pound cover. So just to give you kind of an idea of where these fall as far as weights, color, etc. As far as our top selling papers, I'm just going to get into the top five. Once we open it up for questions, if you have a question about a different paper that I didn't cover here, please feel free to ask. So our number one selling paper is 120-pound eggshell ultra white, but I'm going to kind of camp on the eggshell papers in general. This one is my baseline recommendation for wedding stationery. So the eggshell, again, just referring to the texture, it's a subtle toothy texture. There is no way I'm going to be able to show that. So hopefully you got your paper sample pack. But that comes in ultra white and white. And the cool thing about this paper is that you have such a variation of thicknesses that we offer here at PrintsWell. So you have 80-pound text where you can match your envelope paper, your envelope liner paper, a belly band for your wedding suite. Then you have 80-pound cover, 100-pound cover, 120-pound cover, and then the 240-pound double thick. So you can really make your suite or project very cohesive, matching your paper types. So I did print off for some of these. I printed off some samples to just kind of give you an idea. So like this is a wedding invitation on the 120. It works great. This texture is not interfering with the print, so it's still really crisp print. Here's another example, but you don't have to use this just for wedding. So some of our customers, they're selling high-end social stationery sets. And so they only use the 120 cover stock. And then, of course, offering an upgrade of that double thick as well. So very versatile paper with a lot of thickness options. Let's see. Got my little handy stack here. Our next paper, this is my general baseline for everything. Where 120, I'm going to point wedding stationers in that direction as a baseline. Our 110-pound smooth is just a great paper. So again, social stationery. It's technically a semi-smooth paper, so it's going to still have a little bit of texture. It's heavier than that 100-pound standard. And it prints photos great. It's very cost effective while still being a really premium paper. Um, I have some examples here, but like for gift enclosures, gift tags, you name it, this is a great stock, a great base. So here is like everyday invitations, like a birthday invitation. This is a kid's birthday. And then I actually did a full flood of blue to match the front design, and it prints flood color really well, mimicking color paper. So love that. And then just as an example, I also did a photo card. Shout out to Adobe Stock for providing this picture of this baby. So it prints really well. There's no way I'm going to show you, but it looks great, and it has this soft pink full flood background. It's just great paper stock, great price point for premium stationery. Um, so I kind of skipped around. So 120 eggshell ultra white is number one. Our number two second best-selling paper is the 110-pound smooth cover. Set that in my stack over here. Number three is 120 eggshell white, which is just a little bit, it's a subtle difference in color from the 120 ultra white. So just a little bit more natural. But that brings us to number four, which is our felt bright white stock. And then it comes in two different colors. So I'll just go ahead and talk about both of these here. I think it's just getting washed out here, but this is a more significant, like yellow toned paper than our white eggshell. The cool thing about this paper is it is heavily textured, probably our most heavily textured paper out there. It's great. So artists liken it to watercolor paper, so it prints artwork beautifully. This is my main go-to for like greeting cards, art prints. I'm calling them art prints. In our ordering portal, they're flat cards because our flat cards go up to 11 by 17, but it just prints great. And I do have some examples of those because I love it so much. So if you're doing watercolor art or any art in general, and really want to showcase that on a great paper, this is the one to go with. Let me see my samples. So, and a designer, she tagged us on Instagram, and so we reached out and asked if we could use these. So this is actually someone's work, and I'm obsessed with these greeting cards. Shout out to Jess Willis Art. Thank you so much for letting us use these. But this is her folded card. So the heavy texture really it enhances it without diminishing or distorting the artwork. So that is her folded card. I got a stack of these.
Don't forget the chicken.
Chelsea loves the chicken, so obviously I have to showcase that. They're just, I mean, every single one, this rich color. And like as a side note, kind of rabbit hole thing, like people think, CMYK printing does print more subdued. It can, but like you're getting these very bold colors. Sorry, this isn't the chicken. I'm
Not the
getting to
chicken.
it. But really, really fantastic, full flood, rich color. Oh my gosh, of course the chicken's gonna be the hardest to find. Cactuses. Oh my gosh, these shells.
There they are.
All right, guys, here's Chelsea's chickens. Brace yourself. Amazing. Roosters, technically. Semi-flightless birds. Amazing artwork. Love this. So yeah, so that is a great recommendation. I see people printing
Oh, can you repeat which paper those are printed on?
oh, sorry. Yes, that is our felt stock. So this paper or these cards specifically are on the bright white felt. Just as another aside, typically when speaking with artists, because I do some onboarding calls, I'm gonna tell you to go for the bright white stock because that's going to give you the truest sense of color, because you're printing on basically a blank background. Whereas if you're doing it on the darker paper, that can change the color you're printing on a bit more yellow tone base. But, it all depends. I see people who they're doing more natural artwork, things like that, and the more yellow toned if you're going or a vintagey vibe. So I have some art prints, some 8x10 art prints. I submitted this with a blank. Again, it's kind of washed out. I'm gonna try and dim this light guy. Oh, it's not it. See if that makes it pop better. It doesn't at all. That's great. So it was a transparent background, but you have this yellow tone background that really makes, it just works for this artwork. So in a nutshell, it all just depends, but hopefully this gives you like a sense of direction. This art print is shout out to Van Gogh. This is printed on a bright white felt, but this texture really adds additional dimension, really making this a bold statement piece.
What is the weight of those cards again? Can you
The
guess? The
the
felt.
the felt all our felts are like the single ply are 110 pound.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. Next paper, so number 4, I think we're at is cotton, but again, I'm going to talk about both color options. So you have brilliant white and then you have natural white. I really love this paper. It's 100% cotton. It sounds fancy because it is imported from France. The manufacturer is Riche Savoy. So we love it. I really recommend this one for wedding stationers exclusively. And so I'll tell you why. While it's a great paper, it feels great. When you're doing something like greeting cards or social stationery sets, you can get into like competitive pricing market. This paper is at least, you can always check the ordering portal, but I think twice as expensive. This is a very costly paper. And for good reason, because it's a great stock. So, things to consider is what's going to make my artwork look the best or my project look the best while still staying within a particular budget I have set. But great, great paper. Great for wedding stationers for sure. And then last but not least, our number 5 spot is our thinnest paper. So this is 70-pound text. I love doing this, so I'm probably going to keep doing it. We sell a lot of notepads, and so this is a very cost-effective paper. It's still a great paper. This one has like a true smooth finish. So great for notepads. You can also use this for your envelope liners, depending on the texture you're going for. You can use it for belly bands. Some people do their product packaging, say they're also selling tea towels, and they'll do a belly band to wrap around using this 70-pound text weight. So also a great paper. That's pretty much the overview of papers, focusing on those top 5 and what products work for what papers. Paper does get all the glory. I think that's a really important first step, but also adding the finishing touch and knowing your options for product packaging is important. So we're going to touch on that. You have 3 options with us. You have what we call in the ordering portal dropdown, we have bagged, we have boxed or economy boxed. It's called an economy box. And then we have premium box packaging. So if you choose nothing, the default is bagged. And what that means is it's a cellophane sleeve. So I'm using our optional paper sample packs, for our specialty stocks as an example, but we have various sized bags, various depths. This is kind of an example. Typically, it'll be on the bottom, but like of a branding label. So, should you opt into drop shipping, this could be your brand on the back of this package. And that stands true for any product packaging you use with us. So, cellophane sleeves, I think they're great. I love that I can see through both sides. It works. I'm a fan. And then economy box, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this, but it protects the paper. Paper is very delicate and, with all of the shipping woes lately, let's be honest, UPS, well, or USPS could be playing football with your package. Who knows? So this does protect the paper. We have this for like most of our standard sizes. So this is for flat A2 cards. But I mean it's a step up as far as paper protection. And then the piece de la resistance, I don't think I said that right, is premium packaging. So this is like our top tier packaging option. So what this looks like is it is a white paper box bottom with a clear acrylic lid or acetate, I believe, a clear lid. And what happens is our packing department has a clear loop that's going to go from one corner over to the opposite corner. It's going to secure that together. And then you can imagine that your branding sticker, if you're drop shipping, would go on the back of this package. What's cool about this is, how many boxes depends on how many cards you have in your set. But this is our A7 box, this is our A2. These are fairly thin, so we have low minimums. This would accommodate, I'm going to kind of make this up because I don't work in packing, but like say, you do the minimum of 10 and you do it in a premium package, but we have various depths. So A2 small, A2 medium, and then we have an A2 large box. So we have multiple boxes for standard sizes to accommodate that. And that's going to be presentation ready for your customer when they open their package. And so all of that to say, I mean, this may give some direction, and these are all recommendations. Your best bet, like I hope you can see the value in getting a paper sample pack where it just has, our generic information from that. And there is value, but aside from that, there is placing a sample order. Like we do have those low minimums. Like if well, is my artwork going to look good on this bright white felt, or should I try the smooth? Order both and test it. Put one in a premium box, put one in the cellophane sleeve. I think that's really going to give you the most clarity. And then, here at PrintsWell, we can help you with any more, kind of general direction questions. But
Can you go over when it's bagged in the sleeve? That's not individual, it's your order is packaged in one.
correct. So we package it in the way that you can order it. So we don't sell individual cards. So this would be, a minimum of 10. If it's a smaller card where the minimum is 25, then it would be bagged as a set of 25. It could come in multiple bags, if you order a set of 500 cards, nobody makes a cellophane sleeve that big. But yeah, we do not currently offer individually sleeved cards.
And can you speak to the greeting cards, how they come flat and not folded?
Yeah, I think that's important distinction. So currently we're shipping our cards flat. Now they are, let me show one I have not folded yet. So they do have, not going to be able to show it, but they do have this score line so that your paper is not cracking. But they are scored, but they do ship flat in the box. Wish I had.
And that's no matter what they choose. It doesn't matter. They're coming flat, like packaging wise.
Yeah, any scored card, any folded card that you order is going to ship flat from us.
Perfect.
Well, that is pretty much all that I had. Let me check my cheat sheet I had for you guys. I hope this was helpful. But between paper and packaging, you've got the two elements that are really going to shape your product and for the look and the feel. Paper sets the tone, packaging is going to add the finishing touch. So that's all I plan to cover today. So if you want to kick things off with questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys have already started submitting some questions here, and we have a list of ones that you submitted when you registered. So we're going to go over those, and then we're going to go to the live questions. And you can submit your question by going down to the very bottom where it says Q&A, and you just chat us in there, and we will answer your questions. But so the first one is your paper archival? And we actually had someone ask as well, which is the best paper for art prints that is archival?
Art prints that is archival.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was
That
like,
was very quick. Sorry.
archival art prints. No, it's fine. It's fine. So is our paper archival? Yes. So all the papers that I discussed here, as well as our color plan stock, they are acid free. Vellum specifically is lignin free. Some kind of pulp and wood. I don't know. I just like that word. So yes, they are archival. Now don't leave these in the sun, in direct sunlight, because Nothing can withstand that, but the acid-free paper will prevent them from yellowing. And then as far as, so that includes for art prints, that is going to include that felt stock. Um, I really feel like felt is there now offering very luxury. It's all about how you market yourself, but I mean, cotton works just fine too. That actually has, it's 100% cotton, so it's gonna be acid free there.
So if you had to decide for an art print, would you do felt, cotton, um, yeah, felt or cotton? Sorry.
Me, generally, my knee-jerk reaction is felt, especially like if you have this kind of artwork. I don't feel like the fine details get lost on it. Like I think I was looking at some artwork yesterday that was very fine line, like vintage botanical art. So maybe that's not the right paper for that, but landscape portraits, landscape paintings, I think are just phenom. I wish I could just hand this to you through the screen.
Mhm.
Yeah, I felt for sure. Even this isn't watercolor, but
Oh,
still looks
what
really great.
paper is that?
This one right here.
Mhm.
This is still felt, but this
Okay.
is warm white.
Warm white. Okay, awesome.
So just that more natural tone, if that's what you're going for the look of your product.
Perfect. Can you speak to some sustainable qualities of our stock?
Yeah. So I think it's interesting to know, I kind of looked into this a little bit before, but like paper is one of the I'm looking at my notes because I'll say it better this way. The paper is one of the most sustainable materials. So it's renewable, recyclable, and compostable. It's a natural resource. So um, all of our best-selling paper stocks, and that includes like the color plan that we haven't addressed here, those are all elemental chlorine free. So going to the paper manufacturer's site, they're going to have like product spec sheets, the felt papers and our linen that I didn't mention here, those are made with at least 30% post-consumer waste. And then we do have 100% recycled option, as well as a green grocer craft envelope that's 100% recycled materials. So paper is just a pretty sustainable natural resource.
Yeah, while you have that craft envelope, can you show the difference in a Euro flap envelope and a straight flap? And they're right over there.
Absolutely. So, we've seen an uptick in demand, and especially since I stare at stationery and have for over a decade. I am team Euroflap, but the difference is, Euroflap is going to have this pointy flap. It's going to have a larger flap, especially if you're doing envelope and printing. Wedding, you should be doing the Euroflap for sure. Everything else, I really recommend it. All of our color envelopes are Euroflap, and we're slowly hoping to switch over to that Euro flap option. We sell more of these than the straight flap. So straight flap is just fairly generic, self-explanatory.
Okay, next question. So text weight and cover weight can be 80 or 100 pounds, but they're clearly different thickness of paper. Can you kind of explain why they're different and how we weigh them?
Yeah, I can I can try my best. How's that?
Yes, it's a complicated subject.
Well, it's interesting. So there's like you have 80-pound text and 80-pound cover. Well, they're both 80 pounds, so that doesn't really make any sense because you have so glad I got to do that again. But there's a standardization of the size of a cover weight sheet, and there's a standardized size of a text weight sheet. So the way that they measure paper in pounds is they weigh 500 sheets at a time, however much that weighs. So text weight sheets are just by default way larger. So of course, they're going to weigh more. So 500 big sheets of this text weight paper weighs 80 pounds. And then 500 sheets of this cover weight stock, which is smaller, also weighs 80 pounds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great.
When you spoke about gift tags earlier and the social stationery that you would sell wholesale or custom,
Mhm.
maybe business cards, what paper did you recommend?
Really, my default is 110 pound smooth.
Okay,
I think that's a great paper. And you don't have to go super heavy on your gift tags or enclosures. For me, I think like the smaller the product, like that paper is just going to feel heavier anyway. So.
cool. How do you feel about the 110 white recycled paper for cards? I'm assuming greeting cards.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we recently switched over. I think if sustainability, eco-friendly, I think if those are your core values for your business, then it definitely makes sense. I'm kind of on the fence about them because we do have like our other papers are sustainable in other ways without being 100% recycled material. You will always have paper imperfections in paper. So, I mean, you really won't see those for the most part, but you would see it more so in 100% recycled. If you're okay with that, you feel like that gives it character, great. I mean, we do have people who use that exclusively for their greeting cards.
What do you recommend for a notepad without a smooth finish?
Uh, uh,
Or do we only offer with
no, no, 70 pound does sell more. I think it's just because it's more cost effective. Me, I'm a texture girl. I want to feel the texture. I want to feel how the high quality. So we have that the eggshell. So 80-pound text weight eggshell. You can do that in white or bright white.
perfect. So for save the dates with a full bleed photo, which stock do you recommend?
Probably baseline would be the 110 smooth, but it is a wedding item. So if your client was looking for more of that texture, that soft toothy texture, then the 120 eggshell. But I would go for photos. I really think going with a bright white, ultra white stock because you have customers like their face is too orange or what have you. So not printing on a yellow paper unless they insist on it, of course.
So 110 smooth and 120 eggshell would handle that well as well. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Do we offer custom scoring by request?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you would go into the ordering portal, you'll go to folded carts. There is a sizing drop down. I don't feel like it's as obvious, but right next to that drop down, there is a enter size manually. Little button. And so you click that and you can enter in your dimensions within eighth of an inch increments in between the parameters of 11 by 17. That's a great question.
Yeah. So which paper is best for calligraphy, which also has art on it to capture the fine lines of the lettering?
Ooh,
Makes it a little tricky because you have the calligraphy and then you have the art.
yeah, that's so good. I feel like calligraphy is so I just love it. I'd probably say you wouldn't want anything with too heavy of a texture. The good news is that all of our almost all of our stocks, predominantly, especially our cover stocks, are uncoated. So you want something that's going to absorb the ink well. Good news there. But I'd say the 120 eggshells.
Is 80 cover just too flimsy for greeting cards?
That's really a matter of personal preference. We do have people that order it on that, but I think it's too flimsy. You're not saving that much money. And an interesting fact, so we also have 100-pound cover in the eggshell options. It's the same price as the 110. So if, you know, just pick, is texture more important than a little bit thicker paper?
Awesome. So this person wants to know about Euro flap versus regular envelopes with liners. And we actually don't have any of those in here that I know of,
Oh,
but
envelope liners.
yes, sorry. And then does one look better? I think that's a personal preference, but if you want to speak to that.
Yeah, I love telling people my personal opinion. I think the Euro flap, so let me pull this. So like with your liners, we don't like it's the text weight paper, but you got to think about how much like visibility, like can I'm looking at a teeny tiny thumbnail of me, so maybe I'm like making this.
We can
Oh,
see
it's
it right there.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see like from here up, that's all to the glue line. That's all the customer is going to see, or the recipient, I guess I should say. So and I'm just not with the squares anymore. I've looked at them for too long. But look at all the space you have. So if you did, you could even do like a solid color envelope liner and then just have a crest kind of centered. Utilize our templates for placement. But I think this is the better look. You're getting the envelope liner itself is more of a statement piece with this larger area to cover.
Perfect. Let's see. So talking about the envelopes, are Euro flap envelopes and straight flap the same price? And are Euro flaps becoming more common for greeting cards?
Good questions. They are not the same price. So there is a price difference. This is going to be straight flap is the most cost-effective option. I think that's why they're still selling. We do have an envelope guide, like a PDF that you can download to compare the prices of them. So these are going to be higher in price, but you just adjust your what you're charging accordingly, because you're selling a higher end product, a more sought after product, exclusive. Um, and then our color envelopes, those are because they're different weights as well. So these eggshell ones, those are going to be 80-pound text weight, like I was saying. And then you have, let me see. This is one of our new ones. So like this is pistachio. This is from our color envelope sample pack. So this is 91-pound text weight. It has like a vellum kind of eggshell texture, but much nicer. You see a greeting card and we have 22 colors of these, but you see a greeting card with this, you know, different price points. But we would sell these at different prices, I think. But yeah, they make a difference.
Perfect. So this is kind of a longer question.
No, no.
So someone wants to order samples, and with our order minimums being 10 units, would you recommend that she orders variable printing to get 10 different designs as one type of paper, and then order the same 10 designs in another paper option so that her clients can feel and see the difference when visiting her office?
I really think so. So we don't offer like sample products or like a sample orders. So we made a guide on like how to best utilize our products. And I think variable printing is the way to go. And that's just because you are getting multiple designs, finished product, multiple designs. But so you could take the same print file. I'm going to print this on natural cotton. I'm going to print this on 120 ultra white eggshell. You'll just want to be sure, like if it's something very similar, like I feel like looking at it without having the information, there's certain papers that are very similar to each other. So you'll just include in your print file, I say the same print file, but you'll include like write down, create a text box and write down what paper type that is because they're not going to be labeled when they come to you.
Cool. We had a little volume issue and someone didn't hear the answer for the which paper would be best for calligraphy plus art. Do you remember what you said?
No. It
So
could change now. No, I'm just kidding. I think the 120 eggshell because it's like I said, all of our stocks are uncoated, so it should adhere to ink well. Obviously, check you have these paper samples, depending on what medium, what ink you're using for your calligraphy, test it out. But I think the 120 is going to be a really great paper to use.
awesome. And sorry about that volume issue. When you reference the 118 as being more luxury for wedding suites, is it considered more premium than 120 eggshell?
I mean, price-wise, 100%. Yes. It is. And then like with cotton, so people will letterpress on the 120 papers, but they'll also like more so you'll see letterpress happening. We do not offer that. You'll see that happening on the cotton. It's so pliable and porous and just has that unique texture because it's not made from wood fibers. So I would say like 120 eggshell, great, premium, love it. Cotton.
What stock best accepts full stamping and die cut?
Well, we only offer die cuts on our single ply cover stock. And so what I mean by that is anything from 100-pound cover to 120 cover. So those are the only options that we can die cut, which is create gift tags from, so on and so forth. And then for foil stamping, I'd say the heavier the better for sure, but any of our papers are great for that. We're heating up a copper plate and just pressing that foil into the card. So it all looks good. I think we could do it on 80-pound cover, but you ha may have a little bit more impression on the back. Your foil swatch card that is included in your sample pack. Just to give you an idea, that is done on 110 pound. So we can't foil stamp vellum, we can't foil stamp text weight, but so these heavier, even up to the double thick, there's no decompression on the back. Um, but yeah,
Cool. Is it possible to get a thinner paper than 70 text?
no.
Not that we offer.
Not that, I mean, is vellum thinner? I don't think so, no. 70 pound text. We are exclusively a stationery company, so typically people don't want anything thinner than that.
What paper would you recommend for a disposable coaster?
Definitely the felt. So we offer it in eggshell and felt. Felt is the best seller for coasters. I think it just having that textured surface is great.
Should the paper, I'm assuming the envelope, weight and type and color match the card for greeting cards? So would you use the same
I mean, if you're
paper?
going with a white version, then sure. Like it's all subjective, but like, if you're being crazy and like you want to do, sorry guys, there's just like paper everywhere behind me. I've just been slinging it as I've been talking. But like if you're doing nope, a brilliant white paper and you want to do a soft white, checking Chelsea's computer, so I'm not shoving it in your face. That would be terrible. That would be very faux pas. So please do not do that. But if you're really trying to jazz it up and we are doing, something that complements the printing of the design, I'm gonna take out these bad boys. I mean, going with, what's one of our best-selling color envelopes. There it is, Azure Blue. And so like this is your card. Do I have? Yeah, so this is your card, your folded card, and then it goes with this blue envelope. Woo! I think it's showing up a little bit. This is showing up a little bit darker on my screen, but this looks great. So I think making it cohesive, but not necessarily, you know, forcing yourself to match. This is where your creativity can really flow.
Okay, so lots of questions on branding and like shipping and how we order that. So branding stickers for boxes, is that an additional order or does it come with the purchase of boxes? How do they set branding up for drop shipping? Um, let's see, can you speak to the price for drop shipping or is there a guide somewhere? Sorry. So a little bit about pricing. Let's see.
Just give the full spiel. And then if
Yeah,
people have
just give us the
additional
whole spiel.
shebang.
Yeah,
All
what
right.
we offer,
So
maybe cost.
yeah, so with drop shipping with us, so you're just entering in a distinct custom shipping address at checkout. So you can drop ship one order or all of your orders or none at all. There's no difference in price. Everything that ships from PrintsWell is always going to be shipped blind, meaning that there's no Mincewill? Coin that. Mention of PrintsWell on the box. There's no packing slip. You're not getting any pricing in your shipping box. Neither is your customer. So, how branding works, if you are going to be drop shipping on a regular basis, absolutely be drop shipping. I mean, be branding your packages because that's just additional marketing. It adds a personal touch from you. It looks like it's coming from you. There's no additional cost for that either, aside from the branding materials themselves. So you'll first have to set up your account for that. And what that looks like is going into your ordering portal and you're going to place an order. You'll design your print files for your branding materials, and then place an order for those. So a couple of parameters is you can have up to 2 stickers. So one sticker for your product packaging, like this, not this kind of placement, but just an example. And then a larger sticker that's going to go on your shipping package. Like it could be Happy Mail has arrived or just your business logo, whatever you want it to be, whatever you design, we're going to print that. And then a drop-in card. We do have a guide under services on printswell.com that kind of goes into this as well. I think it speaks to for your drop-in card, a business card size, but what I like is an A2 size. So this is A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You could do 5 by 7, just has to be a flat card. And it can be about your business, 10% off your next order, yada, yada. But you'll place an order, go through that ordering process just like you would for an order shipping to you, right? The difference is what distinguishes this as an order that we need to store these materials in-house is in the customer service request box. You're going to give short and sweet instructions for how to brand it. So let's say we do the small sticker, we do the larger sticker, and we do the drop-in card. So your instructions would be small sticker on product packaging, large sticker on shipping package, one drop-in card. Bam. The other distinction is that in your shipping method options, you'll have all of these USPS options, UPS options, and there's another distinct shipping option that is branded packaging. So you're only going to select that shipping method option for your branded materials order. That is truly what flags it in our house in-house for us that we need to store those materials and then take those instructions that you've provided and basically hard code it into your account. So once that order is complete, you receive an electronic invoice for that. You know that it's ready. And the next time that you go to place an order and enter in a custom ship to address, this feels like the longest sentence ever, I'm sorry, but you go and you enter in a custom ship to address, it's going to populate those instructions you provided on that branding order. So you'll be able to see and you can select yes or no for branding on that specific one. And that applies to drop shipped orders only. But it's as easy as that. There's no additional cost, like I said, except for the branding materials themselves. And you only have to do that once. You're on auto reorder for that service until you tell us otherwise, until you let us know you want to change up your branding, what have you.
Cool. Can you talk about like who all we ship with, like UPS, USPS, FedEx, and which one is the quickest?
So we currently ship with USPS. Um, that one's not the quickest. And we ship with UPS. We do not currently ship with FedEx. And we have a shipping option that you can use. It's third-party shipping. So if you have a business UPS account or FedEx account, then you can definitely use that. So there's probably some benefits. There may be, like maybe you get a better rate than what we're able to offer you. However, just keep this in mind. If a package is lost, if a package is damaged in transit, you would handle all of that because you're technically the shipper. You handle all of that, customer service. Whereas if you just ship it with us, um, we're going to take care of all that. You just reach out to us. That's all you have to do. If your package is lost or damaged, we can do a reprint at no charge, depending on the circumstance. So there's pros and cons to both of those. UPS is going to be faster than the postal service. Especially during the holiday season, you're going to see less delays, but probably we'll still see some delays.
Cool. So I'm gonna read this one. So we are almost at time. I'm hoping it lets us keep going, but I'm not sure if it's just gonna kick us off or not. So let's stop submitting questions and let's get these four answered. This one's a little bit longer. So how does that work with order minimums when drop shipping? If I'm ordering 50 prints, but sending just one to each person, would that meet a minimum? Or with drop shipping, would you have to send a minimum per recipient? I think it all ships together. So you,
Did you see my brain loading? No, I get what they're asking. So you with the minimums, like you would have to like we weren't going to split the order up and then ship to different locations. So if you want to drop ship straight from us, you would need to sell it in the quantities that we sell it in. So the cool thing about that is we really do base our minimums off of the size of the product. So when you say prints, I immediately go to 8 by 10s, 11 by 14s. The minimum on those is just one. So you can sell an individual art print and use it as print on demand. You don't even have to keep inventory. Same thing with notepads. If you wanted to do laminated placemats, like you're doing children's stationery, laminated bookmarks, luggage tags. So we have things that are a minimum quantity of one. Standard size cards like A2s, A7s, minimum of 10. So you would have to ship it in tens. Otherwise, what you would do is you can keep some inventory on hand because we're low minimums anyway. Um, you can order 10 and then say you're doing greeting cards, you'll order 10 of each design or somehow do a variable print job, and then you'll just sleeve those individually and ship those as they're ordered. But you don't have to keep 500 or 1,000 or something like that in-house at your location.
what paper is best for laminated placemats?
So I think we only offer one because you're not going to see the paper at all. Like it just needs to be sturdy. So I think it's only on 110 pounds smooth. You'll be able to see in the ordering portal. Um, but I think it's 110 smooth. Same thing for any laminated anything.
Cool. We're gonna cut the questions off. So we have five in there right now. Let's not submit any more questions. Let's get these five answered, and then we will wrap it up. But is it possible to order bookmarks that aren't laminated?
Yes, yeah, and I talk about that a lot. When I'm talking with fine artists, again, getting your creative juices flowing, there's other things that you can put your artwork on. And so a non-laminated, you got to think outside the box in our ordering portal and how it's set up right now, but an unlaminated bookmark is just a flat card. So same thing with the custom scored cards. There's going to be that enter size manually feature. You can enter in a 2x8 or a 2x6 flat card. I recommend doing it on like, especially if you're doing fine art, like I can't wiggle this one, a double thick stock, and then you can round those corners. And so you have like this nice bookmark. We offer other finishing options like drilling. So if you wanted to be super extra, but it looks so good, you can thread, you get those shipped to you, thread a fancy ribbon through it, and you have this like very artistic bookmark.
Cool. Can you give us a really short overview of bleed versus no bleed? And is it always a 2.5-inch extra margin on every order for every paper?
Say that again?
Let's just answer this. Can you give us a little bit about bleed versus no bleed?
Wait. So default, I would always add a bleed. And so it is an additional 0.25 inches in width and then 0.25 inches in height, but it's because you have an eighth of an inch, 0.125 inches on each side. So, it's always best to err on the side of caution and then go ahead and include that bleed in your PDF. But, if you have any printing that you want to go off of the edge of the card, that printing has to extend to that bleed edge. So the bleed is required.
For every order, every paper.
Every paper except for envelopes, because we're printing on the finished size,
Okay,
you
cool.
don't have to have a bleed.
Can you tell us a little bit about our sticker options?
Sure. So we have two different sticker papers. We have vinyl, semi-gloss sticker paper, and then we have matte paper. So there is the kiss cut option, which is going to be typically 8.5 by 11 sheets where you peel off the stickers. It's like a sticker sheet. And then we have crack and peel options on either sticker paper. And that's where you're going to get like a stack of squares, a stack of rectangles, or, whichever size you'd like to order.
Cool. What do you recommend for markup margin value on materials based off of your pricing structure?
I have no idea. I think that's a really great question, but we should probably do a separate Q&A on that, get in some of these stationer educators. I have seen 2.5 to 3 times the markup. You got to think that your time is worth something, but also just research your competitors. What are other people on Etsy platforms, et cetera? I say Etsy platforms, but just do a Google search. What are the other people charging that kind of fit your brand theme to an extent? Do some price comparison shopping, and that's going to give you a really good idea, which can also help with making your paper decision options.
Cool. Is it possible to get a sample of a custom designed card before printing entire order?
In a way. So, I mean, you would order the minimum of that card set. Now, and I mean, and you're like, I have to order 10 cards to get one. If you check the prices on it, like let's talk about a double-sided printing 110 smooth, we're talking $5. So we could charge, we could say, yes, we can give you this single sample and it will be $15, So you just got to get 10.
That was all. Probably because I cut everyone off.
Oh, sorry.
If you ever have any questions, please feel free to email us. Our customer success team is here. Call us, email us, fulfillment@printswell.com. You can reach out on Instagram. I'll try to do my best to get back with you. If you're still in your 30 days, you have that onboarding period. Yeah, so we're always here to help. Don't feel like this is just we're done now.
Yeah, we're hoping
This is
this is
over.
the first of many live Q&As. So if you have any other topics that you would like for us to go over for other stationers in the industry to review with you guys, then just let us know. Like we're totally open to feedback and look forward to it.
Yeah, and I will be sending this out. So we recorded everything. So check your inbox. Hopefully by end of the day, I'll have an email to you guys just thanking you for, attending. And
Thanks for being awesome.
yes,
Thanks
and
for the
you can
awesome questions.
watch this whenever you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're signing off. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bye.
Bye.